Can you believe 9 weeks out, Republicans are planning to rein it in, reportedly mapping out their agenda if the party ultimately gains control of both chambers? But there's a go-slow strategy to all of this. The GOP worried that aggressive plans, especially aggressive plans telegraphed, will hurt their chances in the next elections, the 2016 elections. Tea Party Gina Loudon not at all happy about this. FBN's Charlie Gasparino says there is some rationale for this. Gina, you first. Now, you have been very clear expressing your views. Enough, enough. Stand for something or fall for everything, right?
I can't even fathom this statement, Neil. Although I can, because we sort of come to expect this, one step forward, two steps back from the GOP elite.
But well, they want to be tentative. They don't want to do anything to screw up 2016.
That's what they've been, and that's how we lose every single election, Neil. This is absolutely...
Well, they're going to win. They're confident they're going to win.
Okay, so if you win in 2014, I can assure you, if you go slow, you're going to lose in 2016, Neil.
What do you think of that?
Well, you have to define what go slow is all about. I mean, there is a sort of, reality to this. Even if they do win the Senate, they're probably not going to get 60 votes to overturn much of President Obama's agenda. The country is still pretty much divided. You have to win you win general elections, presidential elections, by essentially getting that radical middle. I hate to quote a former famous Fox News commentator or analyst, political analyst, but he was right about that. You have to get the middle. And, I'm a libertarian conservative. I would like I would like a lot lower taxes. I'd like a flat tax, but I know it's never going to happen. So there is a degree of incrementalism. Listen, the left does incrementalism very well and very effectively. Obamacare is about incrementalism.
Well, but to Gina's point, though, Gina, you've been complaining that that approach is what got us health care law, and they're not going to reverse that now.
What got us this president, Neil, and what got us this Senate in the first place is that always Republicans refuse to stand for the values that are American. We are a center-right country.
No,
so what would you do? Well, Gina, I'm sorry, Gina, if they take over the Senate, let's say they do that, you would do what?
Obamacare. First thing you've got to do is Obamacare. You've got gas prices. You've got to open the Keystone Pipeline.
But they're going to. I agree with that. But it's not. We're not going to get rid of Obamacare. And let's be clear here: the Republicans would have had the Senate were it not for electing to run in I guess it was Delaware, a witch doctor. A woman who claimed to be a witch.
You're blaming the likes of Gina Loudon and Tea Party.
We would have dethroned Harry Reid.
Yeah, no,
if we didn't run.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that.
No.
All right, so you're saying incremental if they gain. Charlie, you're saying incremental if they win.
I'd say play the long game because the short game has cost Republicans the Senate for the last 2 years.
That's not true. When's the last time that the Republican elite leadership...
What's the witch's name?
But that's one person, one candidate.
How many went down in the Senate?
That the Republican GOP establishment...
They gained. Gina, what are you going to do?
How many were down in the Senate right now? Well, you would have gotten rid of Harry Reid if you didn't...
If they act courageously, Charlie, they can win in 2016.
But Gina, is there a point to his argument that in 2010, when they gained, they got too far, and many argue that that set up the defeat in 2012.
They kind of run in. You know what? We need to shut down. How many times are we going to raise the debt ceiling again?
That's how you lose people in the middle.
I was on your show talking about this going back then, and we called it a circus.
And blessedly, he wasn't here.
You really think shutting down the government got us votes?
I think that shutting down the government, I think what happens to Republicans is that they lose the narrative. No,
we listen to you guys.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the messaging of the GOP...
One at a time. Let her yell at you.
Let me yell at you. Do you think that the messaging of the GOP is effective? No, the problem isn't that. The problem isn't that. Can I please just finish? The problem isn't that the GOP. The problem isn't that the GOP.
Do you think shutting down the government is effective?
The problem is that the GOP needs to properly message and deliver their message to their base.
You have to ask me a question.
Stand for their base.
Equal rights amendment.
They will win votes.
Equal rights here. ERA.
What?
Do you think?
I'm on a different show.
Do you think shutting down the government is effective?
I think messaging,
the
reasons why we were fiscally responsible is effective. Americans have to pay their bills, so do we.
So we got votes because of that.
Okay, group hug. All right. By the way, thank you for talking over each other because you saved a heck of a lot of time. Otherwise, we'd have gone over on this segment.